Hello everyone, my name is Marco Zarate, and today I am here to talk to you about a very important subject. Imagine a time when expressing your beliefs or who you wanted to be could lead to imprisonment, persecution, or even worse. For a long time throughout history, this was the case. Today, human rights are a set of laws that define how people must be treated. Though a few hundred years ago, there were privileges that only certain people could have. Through research sources like the University of Minnesota Human Rights Library and the Australian Human Rights Commission, I've learned more about this evolution. Today, I'll explain how human rights changed, the key turning points, and their lasting impact on our lives and society. To understand how human rights have changed over time, we first need to understand what they are and where they come from. According to the United Nations, human rights are rights inherent to all human beings, regardless of race, sex, nationality, ethnicity, language, religion, or any other status. So, in other words, these rights are very important to everyone and must be upheld. They also include the right to life and liberty, freedom from slavery and torture, freedom of opinion and expression, and the right to work and obtain an education. But these rights weren't always like this. Before we had the laws we have to protect our rights, our legal laws and codes like Hammurabi's Law, the ideas from Greece and Roman Enlightenment thinkers laid the foundation for justice and equality. However, these ideas were only for a certain people, like men who owned land or citizens of a particular class. And the rest of the people had to suffer the injustice they faced. Religious texts also played a crucial role because they highlighted equality and kindness, which made people want to start having those rights. Later on, Enlightenment thinkers like John Locke came up with the concept of natural rights, which is the idea that every person is born with rights to life, liberty, and property. This was revolutionary at the time, and it planted the seeds for modern human rights. As time continued, you could start seeing these ideas come to life. One of the earliest examples is Magna Carta in 1215, which limited the power of the monarchy and gave certain rights to high-ranking Englishmen. Later on, in 1776, the U.S. Declaration of Independence said that all men are created equal, which was a huge stepping point in the evolution. And in 1789, the French Declaration of the Rights of Man said similar ideas. However, these documents still left many groups, like women, enslaved people, and the indigenous people. It wasn't until the end of World War II, with the world grieving from genocide and war crimes that had happened, that people started taking action against these cruelties and started looking for a way to protect everyone. In 1948, the United Nations adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which made nations protect the freedom of all their citizens. Today, human rights are laws all around the world. They protect our access to education, healthcare, and from discrimination. Organizations like the United Nations and national governments work to make sure these rights are upheld and the violators are punished. Human rights today are very important and are show just how much we have evolved. In conclusion, we've gone over the origins of human rights, the turning moments that shaped their evolution, and their influence on our modern society. Even though they began as privileges for a select few, today they are a set of laws that apply to and protect everyone, and they define how we live and interact. Human rights are not just a part of our history, they're a promise of fairness and respect for everyone. It's up to us to protect that promise and make sure that it continues for future generations. Human rights are a way that everyone has a way to protect themselves, and I believe that is why it's very important to keep them and uphold them. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.